And we are at the last day of the Horti Filipina 2026 here in Cebu at SMC Side Cebu. And today is all about last day purchases. There's gonna be sale, there's gonna be a drop down of prices, and yesterday day 2 was all about writing down which plants I am going to be buying. And of course, my first purchase in one of my favorite stalls here at Mel's Blooms and Spikes, Thorny Little Ones, and Cactus Garden. So I've already asked them to save some plants for me, and this is gonna be my first purchase of the day.
Ganon.
Hi ma'am! So
Hello.
she's helping me pick the, ano ito ulit?
This is Astrophytum Asteria Super Kabuto Star Shape.
Ang haba ng pangalan?
Yeah.
Kabuto
True.
Miracle ba to?
No, this is Star Shape.
Kabuto Star Shape.
Yes, Super Kabuto.
Yan. So ma'am helped me choose because she wants to see how I'll take care of it for 1 year. Pag babalik niya dito,
Exactly.
I hope it's gonna be nicer. Diba?
Yes, because yung kinuha niya sa akin last time, it thrived under his care and nakapag-propagate na siya.
Yes, Euphorbia japonica. Now ma'am is making budol this Kabuto.
Yes, Budol is live.
Yes. Ma'am, would you like to make one last pitch? Asan yung store mo and online your page?
Yes, our page is Thorny Little Ones, which is located at Kamiling, Tarlac. So, yung pong pag naka-visit kayo ng Metro Manila, meron po kami laging mga upcoming events doon. So, follow and like my page, Thorny Little Ones.
Thorny Little Ones. Thank you, ma'am. And do you ship to Cebu?
Yes, of course. We ship nationwide.
So, message their page and they will ship to Cebu.
Yes, thank you.
Given that it's the last day of the Horti Filipina, we expected that there's going to be a lot more people because a lot of the plant keepers learned from last year that if they go to the last day, it's going to be price drop for a lot of the plants here. And it's true, there's a lot of price drop. However, if you go to the last day, the tendency is it's going to be all the remaining plants, meaning the desirable ones have been already sold. So if you're okay with just with the leftovers, then the last day sale is for you. So I want to show you what it looks like right now with the last day sale happening at 2:47 p.m. I'm going to take another video probably in the evening and see what it's going to look like for the last day sale. Let's do a quick walkthrough of the Horti Filipina. Compared to yesterday, I'm having a hard time walking around because there's just so many people. I have to keep moving my bag. Yesterday, I didn't have to do this. It was a lot more relaxed and there was a lot of space to move around. Now, people are just going on to the stores and I'm starting to see some stores are getting sold out. Like for example, here in Rich Garden on their last day sale, people are now just piling over their plants. They don't even have taikons anymore. Their taikons just got sold out. And their aurea seems to have been sold out as well. Now they're just selling all these other philodendrons. And Rich Garden was the first place I bought plants for my day 1 in Horti Filipina. So, Venado Tropicals, they were the ones bringing bromeliads as well. I'm still coming back here for my last purchase, but I already had some plants hidden. Si ma'am, hello ma'am. Let's continue checking out the last tail crowd. We are walking over here. Although there's a lot of people, I think it's not yet super crowded yet. This could be different later on at 4 o'clock, if there are even plants still around here. Sir Botsi, hello. Plants by Flippy has a very interesting collection of euphorbias, cacti, and pachypodiums. I have learned about pachypodiums this year. Then we also have Ma'am Ann's stall, which is now emptier. Hi, Ma! Daghan na halin. Yeah. I personally bought my variegated plants from her. My gloriosum tricolor is in her hidden stash. We have here again another Thailand vendor. The plant. You see, I'm a bit struggling now with going through because there's a lot of people and seeing friends here as well. Hello! Ang samay na palit ni mo?
Wala pa.
Oh, wala pa. Asa na imong daghan cash na gidala? Ano sa imong gipangita?
Nagpinita o caramel na barato.
So out of all the pachypodiums that I've seen in this event, this one is the largest and the most expensive. This is 33,000 for Pachypodium gracilius. So this is a plant that I'm also learning about. This genus I just learned in this event. So Pachypodium reminds me of the baobab. Very beautiful bulbous shape. Pachypodium gracilius. Let's have a look at Sir Jaime Chua's display. So one thing I noticed is a lot of the other orchids that I saw yesterday are not anymore here. That means Sir Jaime is doing well. And why not, right? Because he is, after all, one of the best here in Cebu when it comes, one of the best, if not the best, in orchid keeping in Cebu. So all the titas, the aunties, the lolas are buying from Sir Jaime. Look at this one. I really like this one. I hope in the future I will know how to take care of orchids because it really, really reminds me of Ama. And some of these already sold. I'm looking at this, they're in their own plastics. So, look at this. There's like this. I think this is some wood sculpture with a bird on it. So pretty. Is this orange marmalade? Because it looks very orange. I'm not sure. Look at this orchid. See, this is what I'm saying. It's not just about making the plant grow, it's also setting them in a way that the whole piece looks like an art. And this looks like an art. Like multiple orchids placed together, perfect combination of white, and then there's like purple here, and there's like a violet-white mix at the center. And this whole thing, topped with a high contrast red, is an art piece. I'm not so much into expensive plants. Well, okay, I'll take that back. I am not into super expensive plants, but this one really catches my attention. This is the, I think I mentioned this in day one, the Red Congo Classic Tricolor. I've seen a few of these with very beautiful variegations, and I love how that creamy color just stands out. I'm looking at it in person, the texture, the color, everything about it just really stands out. I think the video doesn't do as much justice to actually seeing it in person. I also have to say that when it comes to background photos, Sir Jaime Chua's display is always the crowd favorite, like always. That's why he is the one picked by the organizers to do the major display for Horti Filipina. I am going to do one last top shot, the same that I did on day one, so that we can compare what the crowd looks like compared to day one. Day 3 at 3 o'clock p.m. it's definitely busier than day 1. A lot more foot traffic. Well, given that it's a Sunday, more people are out. But at the same time, everyone who's been holding off since day 1 are now here because they are here for the price drop sale. Now, again, as much as like price drops make me happy, if you are not fast enough, you will miss out on the plants that you are looking for. So yeah, this is it. Top shop crowd view of day 3 of Horti Filipina 2026. Guys, remember when I said I will no longer buy anthuriums because I said my heart was so broken with my BGI and my Warokianum. So as much as possible, I tried to avoid anthuriums. Then I said I'm okay with pallidiflorums because 2 out of 2 survived, especially in that they were from Ecuagenera. I was able to acclimatize them to the environment. However, the pallidiflorums I saw here were not very impressive, so I said, okay, maybe not this time. Now, at the last day, one of the pendant anthuriums that I was looking at is actually on sale. I'll show you. So you saw this booth, right? Live with plants from Thailand, and they were selling a lot of these anthuriums, and now they're doing 50% off. So I got this. I just want to show you what it is. Anthurium pendants. And because the seller saw that I was so into this plant, I got it for even less than 50%, only 500 pesos. So that's Live with Plants, exotic and rare plants from Thailand. And they still have some anthuriums here. My auntie chatted me on Messenger asking me to check out the plants near closing because if there are plants that she might want, she'll ask me to buy them. Let's see. It's almost, what time is it? It's already 6 o'clock and I'm really seeing some stores that are closing. We're gonna go around and see all the rest of the stores at this time. Here we are checking Venado Tropicals. They are closing shop because they are already sold out. Look at that. Nothing to bring anymore. Congratulations, Venado Tropicals. They also did well last year. They sell bromeliads, and in fact, one of the customers tried to buy out the bromeliads that was already bought by the customer. But here they are. Hi, ma'am. Hurot na, hurot na.
Sold out everything.
Sold out everything. Venado Tropicals. Congratulations. Another one that got sold out is Ahoya. Interesting thing about Ahoya, on the first day alone, they sold out, like barely even half of the day, and they already sold out. So this booth, they just cleared out. Another stall that is almost sold out. So most of their plants are already sold out, especially the Monsteras. I think the Aglas already gone to Enrich Garden. And apparently, I have forgotten that they were here last year. But look, they did well. Hi, Sir Bots. Did you see the Gloriosum copy?
Yeah.
Ah, Gloriosum copy.
You want?
I want, but my wallet does not.
Yeah, pala.
Copy? Enrich Garden. So we are now at 7:41 p.m. A few more hours, SM will be closing and Horti Filipina 2026 will be officially over. Let's look at the booths that have already closed and closed shop, right? Enrich Garden has already closed up. And of course, we knew Venado Tropicals have closed up. A little heartache of mine is Live with Plants have already closed up. I just went to the car to drop off some plants and I heard that they were like doing massive sales with anthuriums. I wanted to get another pendants and unfortunately no more. So congratulations Live with Plants for your sale. Let's check the other vendors. While the other buyers here are stalking the vendors like vultures, waiting for them to price drop. I will admit I am one of the vultures waiting for the price drops. We have here the trio from Thailand, also a closing shop. They're the ones with the very expensive plant, the red canoe at 250,000. Some of the vultures are waiting here at Moore Farm, Charming Home. They're having some massive price drops here, 50% in one. the anthuriums are at 20%, but my auntie just messaged me asking me to watch out if the price will drop even further. So we're waiting. I'm seeing some familiar faces, so I know that these are people just waiting to see what happens when it's going to further drop as the night goes on. So only 7:43 p.m. That's about 2 hours and 17 minutes before the whole event is over. So yes, let's see what happens after an hour. I really enjoy seeing people carrying their plants with them. Like at this event, whenever I see the buyers carrying their plants, the sellers clearing their stalls, I feel like everyone's a winner in a plant event like this. So good job, Horti Filipina, for doing this in Cebu. And hopefully we will see a year-on-year growth as we continue to encourage horticulture here in Cebu City. So, last chance to buy anthuriums. Just like last year, people will really start crowding on the anthuriums. I don't know. I'm not sure if they're pushing the prices even further, but anthuriums are a crowd favorite apparently. But there are specific anthuriums that are popular to people, like Parroquianum, there is Luxuriance, Regale, Forgetii. So anthuriums that I like the pendant anthuriums, the pendants, the Pallidiflorum, not a lot of people are that interested in. So it's something that I find interesting. The thing is with Horti Filipina, a lot of people are expecting the plants that they will see are mostly the variegated plants, the landscaping plants, and anthuriums. But they don't know that there are actually other plants here, especially this year, like these terrarium plants. Now, I did not see a lot of people from the terrarium community here in Cebu, but I'm going to show you what terrarium plants are available here. Fred, can you help me talk more about these terrarium plants? Like, because the thing is with Horti Filipina, everyone thinks like philodendrons, monsteras. They didn't know like there was this. There's like more farm, charming home. So tell me about this.
Lots of these plants are for this is by
Charming Home by
Lisdel.
Yeah.
A lot of these plants are good for terrariums, so they're very high humidity. But you also have to pay attention because some of them are only suitable during the seasonal wetness of their home environment. For example, this is a Pictalis, and you also have an Habenaria earlier. Those ones go into dormancy when it is really, really dry.
Yeah.
I also got myself some Amorphophallus aleniae. Those also go dormant when the weather is too hot.
Now, Fred, I want to ask. So there is a market for this.
There may be a market for it here if people are willing to get into terrariums. You can actually see a couple of them over there on display. Personally, I've been doing these sorts of plant propagations for maybe about 2-3 years now. They're not very common, but people do have an interest in them. It's still a growing field here in Cebu.
Right. Okay, so hopefully terrarium keepers here in Cebu do check out Horti Filipina because you'll be surprised there are actually plants that you can add to your terrarium. Thanks, Fred.
Thank you so very much, John.
So it is now 9:14 p.m. and a lot of the vendors have been clearing out already. Next time, if you're thinking about holding off until 10 p.m., maybe do consider because at around 9 p.m. there's not much anymore to see. And so that concludes Horti Filipina 2026. Now, before I talk about the good things, I want to be direct about the not so good things that happened or the not so good things about the events because let's be honest, it wasn't the same as last year. Before everyone starts saying, yeah, Horti Filipina wasn't that nice, the organizers did a bad job, I want to say first that I don't think that the organizers necessarily did a bad job. I think that the organizers did with what they could. I got to talk to them and from there I got to understand all the challenges that they had to deal with. So to be honest, I'm still glad that even if they had all these problems that they had to face, they still pushed through in having a Horti Filipina in Cebu. Like, can you imagine if we didn't have an Horti Filipina this year? I mean, with all the bad news that's already happening here, we don't want to miss out on such an awesome event such as Horti Filipina. So I do appreciate that they're still here. Now, the other thing is, some people might say, yeah, there weren't as much buyers as last year. True. Let's be frank about that. It's true. The timing was off, so the buyers were not as much as last year. And let's add to the fact that the Philippines is going through an economic crisis right now. With all the things that's going all over the globe, we have the price increase, we have fuel getting more expensive, with the war going on, there were just so many things happening. And so I wouldn't expect that people would be more economically optimistic as they were last year. Given all that, despite all that, I think Horti Filipina, the team, they still did a good job. This year is not as big as last year. Let's be honest about that. But even then, I, as an attendee, enjoyed all 3 days. I, as a plantito, was still so fascinated with all the new things that I was seeing. And compared to last year, I still think that this year was fun. And I am very glad that I took some time off from work so that I could really immerse myself in the last 3 days. So the first day, I was only there for like half a day. And the last 2 days, I spent more time in the event. But now let's look at the bright side. Because this year wasn't that big, there's so much room for growth for next year. There's so much opportunity to make this even a bigger event next year. And what does this year tell us in terms of horticulture in Cebu? Despite the low turnout of people, there are still a lot of Cebuanos who are hungry for more plants, who are hungry for new species, new specimens. Overall, I would say there is a growing market in Cebu, and Horti Filipina is working its way into Cebu so that they could address this demand. And like what Sir Bocci said, it is an advocacy. More than just being an event, it is an advocacy to bring all these vendors from Luzon and Mindanao and even international to come to Cebu and give us options, because Cebu, let's face it, does not have a lot of options when it comes to plants. Now let's talk about the good points. It was this Horti Filipina that I got to really literally sit down with the vendors, ask them questions, get more personal, ask them how to take care of this plant, what they think of this or that. It was a nice experience for me, not just because I was taking videos of the booth, I was just like buying plants. I got to connect with the vendors and I made a lot of new friends during this event. I'm very happy to say that more than just a plant event where I got to buy plants, I got to meet new friends. That in itself is actually priceless. Horti Filipina 2026, overall, I think it was a success and still makes me excited for Horti Filipina 2027. I heard they might be doing a pocket event later this year because it's a great chance to really build that momentum. I'm crossing my fingers that they will do a pocket event because once a year event is just too small. I kind of want another event at least before Christmas, right? And then to keep the momentum going leading towards 2027. I think what touches me the most is, aside from just the new friends I made with the vendors and everyone who is in the plant community, I've had some few people approach me and say, hey, I watched your vlog. And that kind of makes me shy because I didn't really think there are a lot of people watching. But I think there are not a lot of people watching, but the people who are watching are actually telling me that they're watching. So I'm touched and I'm very grateful. And I hope that I can continue making these videos because I enjoy this storytelling. I enjoy sharing my experiences and hearing what other people also have to say. So thank you for watching, and I hope you like and subscribe. And also, I hope you share it with your friends, and I hope to see you guys if you attend any future plant events. Bye.